If you run Unix or Linux, there's an assumption that you're an experienced system administrator. But more and more people are running Linux on their desktop computers, so I'm really glad that Acquia provides an installer as an Ubuntu package, because it really simplifies Drupal on Linux. Now I do have to mention that the version 7 of Drupal hasn't come out in Acquia Drupal yet, but whenever it does, I expect that Acquia will quickly come out with a Debian package for that as well. As usual, to get it, you would go to acquia.com/downloads. Then, underneath the stack installers for Windows and Mac OS X, you would click on the Debian package, and then click Download Now. Then click OK. I've chosen to download this directly into the Ubuntu Software Center. I then click the Install button. You'll be asked for the root password on this computer. Sometime during the installation process, you'll be asked to provide a password for the root user. I'm going to keep it simple and just put root. Of course, you should put whatever you want. After entering it once, I'm asked for it again to confirm, and then click Forward. And the installation process continues. Also during the installation, you'll be asked this question about whether to configure the database using dbconfig common. I found it works best when you uncheck it and then go forward. We'll configure the database ourselves manually, as you learned how to do in another video. Great! Acquia Drupal is now installed. We can just close out this window now. In order to see it, hit Ctrl-L to go to a location, and then type /usr/share/acquia-drupal6. And then click Open. Now, this is Acquia Drupal, but during this course we're going to use Core Drupal, so you'll have to download and install it. However, the Ubuntu package doesn't directly support multiple sites, and doesn't have the same import feature as the Windows and Mac versions of the Drupal stack installer. So you'll have to install the files and create the database manually, and then run Drupal's installer. You can learn how to do all of those things in other videos in the course in the section named Installing Drupal on a Server. There's just one last thing. Because the Debian package is presented in the same way as the AMP stack for both Windows and Mac, you might think that the package is the same. But that's not quite true. Here are a few of the differences that I noticed. First of all, you'll find that you have to do everything as root, and you can use the sudo command to do that. Secondly, it doesn't install phpMyAdmin. If you don't have it in any other way, use MySQLadmin. As I mentioned before, it's not multi-site, and there's no control panel like you got on Windows or Mac. Finally, the Debian installer doesn't necessarily install all of these new pieces. Instead, it brings together what's already there in Ubuntu or Debian. Acquia details several other ways that it's different in the documentation page that you see here. That page gives quite a few other technical details, including how to install the package from the command line interface. Clearly, the Ubuntu package isn't quite as easy to use as DAMP, but then again, it's not supposed to be. It's sort of a compromise between the ease that desktop Linux users require and the power that server administrators need.